Hi, I'm Sashikala from the Department of Clinical Lab Technology in N.G.P Arts and Science College. I welcome you all to this video. Today, I'm going to talk about the topic Introduction to Prokaryotes and Eukaryotes. Under the prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells, in this video, I'm going to deliver a brief explanation on prokaryote and eukaryotic cells, its definition, comparison and difference between these prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, structure and functions of prokaryote and eukaryotic cells. Cell. The cell is a basic unit of life responsible for all biological activities of the living being, whether it is prokaryote or eukaryote. Both of these cells vary in their role, like prokaryotes are old primitive type of cells and they lack a proper nucleus and other organelles which are very well present in eukaryotes as these cells are evolved and advanced cells. Coming to the prokaryotic cell. What is a prokaryotic cell? Pro means old and karyon means nucleus. So as the name suggests, the history of the evolution of prokaryotic cell is at least 3.5 billion years ago, but they are still important to us in many functions that are used in industries for fermentation. For example, lactobacilli, streptococcus, etc. for research work, etc. In comparison to eukaryotic cells, they lack few organelles and are not advanced as eukaryotes. So here is the tabular column which shows the comparison between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells based upon size, structure and their function. The size of the prokaryotic cells are 0.5 to 3 μm, where the eukaryotic cells are 2 to 100 μm. The kind of cell, the prokaryotic cells are single-celled, whereas the eukaryotic cells are multicellular organisms. The cell wall is present, comprised of peptidoglycan or mucopeptide in prokaryotic cell, whereas in eukaryotic cell, the cell wall is absent. If it is present, it is comprised of cellulose, that is as polysaccharide. Prokaryotic cells contain well-defined nucleus is absent. Rather, nucleoid is present, which is an open region containing DNA. A well-defined nucleus is present, enclosed within nuclear membrane in eukaryotic cells. The prokaryotic cells contain circular and double-stranded DNA, whereas in eukaryotic cell, the DNA is linear and it is double-stranded. Mitochondria is absent in prokaryotic cell, whereas it is present in eukaryotic cell. Ribosomes are 70S type in prokaryotes, whereas it is 80S in eukaryotes. The Golgi apparatus are absent in prokaryotic cells and it is present in eukaryotic cells. Endoplasmic reticulum is absent in prokaryotes and it is present in eukaryotes. The mode of reproduction is asexual in prokaryotes, most commonly sexual in eukaryotes. The cell division is of binary fission in prokaryotic cell, like conjugation, transformation, transcription, whereas it is mitosis cell division in eukaryotes. The lysosomes and peroxisomes are absent in prokaryotes, whereas it is present in eukaryotes. The chloroplast are scattered in cytoplasm in case of prokaryotes. It is present in only plants and algae in eukaryotic cells. Transcription and translation occurs together in prokaryotes, whereas the transcription occurs in nucleus and translation occurs in cytosol in case of eukaryotic cells. The organelles are not membrane bound in prokaryotes, whereas all the organelles are membrane bound and are specific in their function in eukaryotes. The replication is of single origin in prokaryotes. It is of multiple origin in eukaryotes. The number of chromosomes are present is only one in prokaryotes. More than one chromosome is present in eukaryotic cell. The best examples are archaea and bacteria for prokaryotes, whereas the plants and animals are the examples for eukaryotic cells. Coming to the structure of prokaryotic cell, the generalized structure of prokaryotic cell consists of glycocalyx, which is the layer, thin layer, functions as a receptor and it is adhesive and gives production to the cell wall. Nucleoid, it is a location of the genetic material DNA and large DNA molecule is condensed into a small packet. Next one is pilus. It is a hair-like hollow attachment present on the surface of bacteria and is used to transfer DNA to other cells during cell-to-cell adhesion. Mesosomes, it is the extension of cell membrane unfolded in the cytoplasm and their role is during the cellular respiration. Flagellum, it helps in the movement, attachment of the cell to the basal body of the cell. The cell wall, it provides rigidity and support for the cell. Fimbriae helps in the attachment of the cell to the surface and other bacteria while mating. They are small hair-like structures. Inclusion in granules helps in storage of carbohydrates, glycogen, phosphate, fats in the form of particles which can be used when it is needed. Ribosomes are tiny particles which helps in protein synthesis. Cell membrane of prokaryotes are thin layer of protein and lipids which surrounds cytoplasm and regulates the flow of material inside and outside the cells. And endospore. It helps cell in surviving during harsh conditions. In terms of peptidoglycan present in the cell wall, the prokaryotes can be divided into two categories like gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. The gram-positive bacteria contains large amount of peptidoglycan, whereas the gram-negative bacteria contains a thin layer of peptidoglycan. This is the picture of the structure of prokaryotic cell which contain glycocalyx, cell membrane, ribosomes, pilus, nucleoid, membrane, granules, mesosomes, outer cell wall, the flagellum, etc. So this is the classical example of prokaryotic cell, that is a bacterial cell. Next is about the eukaryotic cells. What is a eukaryotic cell? Eu means new and karyon means nucleus. So these are the advanced type of cells which is found in plant, animals and fungi. They have a well-defined nucleus and different organelles to function different functions through working is complex to understand. This kind of cells are found in algae, fungi, protozoa, plants and animals, and it is a single-celled, colonial or multicellular. Among them, fungi and protists are the major kingdoms. This is a flow chart which shows the general structure of eukaryotic cell. So eukaryotic cell contains nucleus, cytoplasm, appendages, surface structure, cell wall, plasma membrane, ribosome and skeleton. The nucleus further contains chromosomes, nuclear envelope and nucleolus. The cytoplasm which contains the structures like mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi apparatus and endoplasmic reticulum. Appendages contains cilia and flagella which functions for movement of the cell. The surface structure includes glycocalyx. The cytoskeleton comprises of microtubule and microfilament. Coming to the individual structure and its function, the nucleus present in the eukaryotic cells are well defined and DNA is the genetic material which is present in the nucleus. It helps in the production of protein synthesis and ribosomes also. The chromosome is present inside the nucleus that is surrounded by the nuclear envelope. It is a bilipid layer and controls the passage of ions and molecules. Next is cytoplasm. It is a location where other organelles are located and other metabolic activities of the cells are taken place. The first organelle present in the cytoplasm is mitochondria. It is called the powerhouse of the cell, which is responsible for making ATP. Mitochondria has its own DNA and ribosomes. Chloroplasts are found in algae and plants. It helps in converting energy of sun into the next is chloroplast. These are found in algae and plants. It is one of the most important organelle in the plant which helps in converting sunlight into photosynthesis. They resemble mitochondria in structure and function. Next one is Golgi apparatus. It consists of a stack of many flattened disc-shaped sacs known as cisternae. The exact nature of Golgi varies, but it helps in packaging of materials and in secreting them. Lysosomes and vacuoles, the most important function of endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus is the synthesis of lysosome, which helps in digestion of intracellular molecules. The vacuoles are the membrane-bound cavities containing fluid, solid materials, and they engulf the materials through endocytosis. Appendages, the cilia and flagella or locomotory attachments helps in the movement of a cell towards positive stimuli. The surface structure, glycocalyx, is a kind of polysaccharide. It gives the protection adherence in receiving signals from other cells. Cell wall, it provides shapes, rigidity and support to the cell. It composed of cellulose acids material, cell wall material. Cytoplasmic membrane and plasma membrane is a thin semi-permeable surrounding of cytoplasm. It acts as a barrier of the cell and it regulates the transportation, exit and entry of the substances. This layer is made up of two layers, phospholipids embedded with proteins. In plant cell, this layer is present below the cell wall, whereas the animal cell is the outermost layer. Ribosomes, though small in size but are present in numbers, they help in protein synthesis. Eukaryotes have 80S ribosomes and it's a subunit divided into 40S and 60S ribosomes. Cytoskeleton, it is supporting framework of the eukaryotic cell, which is of two types, that is microtubules and microfilaments. Microtubules are the largest filament having diameter of about 24 nanometer made up of protein called tubulin. Microfilaments are the smallest filaments of about 6 nanometer made up of protein called actin. This is the picture that is shown as a eukaryotic cell, which contains cell membrane, vacuoles, rough endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, cytoplasm, lysosome, ribosome, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, and centrosome. This is a cross section of an animal cell, which is a classical example for eukaryotic cells. In a nutshell, in this video, we have learned and discussed about cell, especially the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, their comparison, structure and their function. Hope this video is very helpful to learn the basic and fundamental things of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Thank you all.